Welcome back to The Price of Business. I'm your host, Kevin Price, talking to you about you and your business. Make sure you check out official podcaster Colleen Mullen. It's an official Price of Business podcaster. She's got a great new story over there. She's interviewing Jeff Muskie. He's the CEO of Trilogy Financial Services. It's a nationwide firm holding over $2 billion of client assets. He's talking about financial success begins at home. Make sure you check that out. That's an official priceofbusiness.com podcast. You can't miss it when you get over there to priceofbusiness.com. Also, do want to mention today's program is brought to you in part by Efficient Wealth Management, Chris Kidd Enterprises, and Outskirt Press, plus the priceofbusiness.com priority list. Make sure you check all that out.
And don't forget Super Julie.
And Super Julie, yes, superinterns.com, yes. And so, wow, what a great show. That's a lot of great content.
Absolutely.
And a lot of great support for the program. Let's talk a little bit about support. You know, I don't know if you noticed, did you hear, of course, that Donald Trump, now gave Lindsey Graham's phone number, publicly.
Yeah.
And then, I guess the day or so before that, Rand Paul, did this video about what you would do with the tax code. And I think he took a power saw to it or something like that.
Yes.
All of these are kind of like YouTube, type stunt type activities. Is this really a reflection of where we've gotten to now? Is this what we have to do in order to remain relevant as candidates?
Don't forget, Bill Clinton back in 1992 went on the Arsenio Hall show and played saxophone to the delight of young people everywhere. That was
a turning point in the way campaigns were done.
And then Barack Obama has been on Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, I mean, and who else? Did he go on David Letterman? Did he go on? I don't know. He's been on several of the the nightly talk shows, and Jon Stewart. He went on there several times. Most recently to say his new executive order is going to be that Jon Stewart can't leave The Daily Show. So there's a precedent. It's been there for a while.
Oh, yeah, I know that. Although not so much the viral YouTube precedent. I mean, this is like late night, television that you're talking about. But and I'm wondering how much of this is a culture of
my point is the entertainment quality.
Because 25% of all headlines that are politically related are Donald Trump related.
Yeah.
Are of 2016 related. Is this what these guys are going to have to do in order to be reviewed, watched? And again, what it comes down to is reality TV type exposure. Nothing seriously great. Lindsey Graham can destroy a phone. My grandson can destroy a telephone, props to Lindsey Graham, and I thought I liked the deal with Rand because first of all, I do like Rand. I admit that, but I like the American people seeing how ridiculous our tax code is. That was a good visual for them to see.
Well, but it also makes him ridiculous for approaching it in a way that you might have seen Mattress Mac do a commercial back in the 80s. I mean, it's classless. It's not what you expect of the president, the leader of the free world. So we've really brought it down. We talk about the voters being low information.
Are we getting closer to the idiocracy?
But we talk about the voters being low information voters. So now, why not the president being a lowest common denominator kind of a figure, right? So yes, we are getting closer to idiocracy. It wouldn't surprise me if Jim Gilmore decides to mud wrestle with someone on YouTube just to get some attention because, I mean, he's going to be entering soon, and who's going to be talking about him when they've still got, Donald Trump on the brain?
Yeah, Gilmore versus Kasich, maybe? You'd have to be one of those guys that are barely on the radar screen.
Yeah, but
in spite of the
maybe Rick Perry.
Oh, wow.
Governor versus governor. Well, Kasich is too.
Governor, too.
A three-way.
Oh, man. So, but,
Come on.
But even jokingly having this conversation shows you how bad it got. Well, I want people to know that I'm trying to raise the dialogue. I wrote an article about Rand Paul, which if you put in conservatarian right now in a Google search, my article in the news section will pop up number one. If you put in Rand Paul, conservatarian, it pops up very highly. But it's been featured now for like 3 days, which is virtually unheard of on Huffington Post. So I'm excited about it. About him being the poster child of conservatarians. Conservatarians being those ones who, they're kind of that hybrid. If you remember in his interview that he had on the program, between conservative principles, libertarian principles. Conservatarians are pro-business and free enterprise. but are opposed to crony capitalism, that type of thing. They debate the social issues, but nonetheless, but no differently than a lot of conservatives and libertarians do on the social issues. They're not ostriches, but then again, they're not the world's police force.
They're not hawkish.
They're not overly hawkish.
Well, but I will say, somebody brought up, and I don't remember where I saw it. It must have been on Facebook or somewhere, but somebody brought up an interesting point about Rand Paul, and his stance on abortion, how it really is more conservative, right-wing than libertarian. And so once you start trying to meld the two, there are going to be issues where you reach kind of that tipping point. You've got to decide: are you going to be conservative or are you going to be libertarian?
I disagree. There's a huge number of libertarians that are pro-life. Huge. They see it as a civil rights issue. They see it as an invasion of another autonomous individual. They believe to be pro-choice, you should have did that before you said yes to the person you had sex with. And you should have had plans, responsible plans going forward. So for a lot of libertarians, pro-life is a civil rights issue. Okay. It's not an infringement on anyone's rights. Poor planning and the abdication of responsibility on the part of a person who got themselves pregnant is not a libertarian position. That's a libertine position, not a libertarian position.
And that's a good point. But you and I see it that way. But the media
but there's a lot of. I understand it. The media are all pro-choice.
It's not framed like that in the national conversation. That's what I'm saying.
It is by libertarians that no one listens to. To libertarians who are pro-life, no one hears them, but that's the position they articulate one. And I think it's the most cohesive, most logical approach to look at it. To me, pro-life is an incredibly important libertarian position.
Well, you need to get with Rand Paul and help him to make that argument better, because right now it's coming across that he's being, wishy-washy in his own stances on things. And you know what? They'll never ask the Democrats about it. They'll never ask the Democrats about abortion or gay rights or what it means to be, remember when they asked Scott Walker recently, do you believe that being gay is a choice? I would love for them to ask that of Bernie Sanders and Hillary Clinton, but they won't. Mm-hmm. And so only the Republicans are the ones who are having to face these ridiculous questions, and frankly, they look ridiculous trying to answer them.
Yep.
And so Rand Paul taking on abortion, he's going to need some help. That's all I'm saying.
Yep, absolutely. All right, well, all the good guys need help because they're going to get themselves continuously beat up by the media that's clearly has its own agendas. All right, that's a lot of fun. I look forward to being with you all on Monday. I hope you have wait a minute. We have one more segment coming up.
Yeah, you're getting a little bit early there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm telling you what, it must feel like Friday. That's the problem. All right, we got one more for you, and this is a great one with my friend Chris Kidd right here on The Price of Business.